Hey guys, day 2 of my food stamp challenge. Day 2 is way harder than day 1, guys. It was a lot of the same when it came to the meals, but a whole lot different in terms of kind of the feelings that I've had. The first thing I want to address is kind of a note about my shopping. I've been getting some feedback both on Twitter, on Facebook, and in person from people kind of explaining that yes, it is possible to eat way more healthier than the way I'm eating while you're on food stamps. There are a couple things I want to point out about that. First off, totally understand, totally agree. Yes, there are better ways to do it. But there are two things that I need you guys to understand. The first thing is this is my very first time shopping on this type of budget. When I do this again, I will do it way differently. But this was my very first time. And that's something that I think people should consider. It's a big learning for people who are just getting started on food stamps, that they might make similar mistakes. My big concern was, how do I get enough food to make sure it lasts all week? That was my number one concern. My secondary concern is, how healthy can I be? I think that there are different ways that I would do it. I know there's different ways that I would do it differently, but that's just the reality of how I did it this time. The second thing is that food stamps typically come once a month. And here in North Carolina, that equates to $124.58. That is plenty of money to do some damage with bulk purchases. For example, I could buy enough chicken and cut it up myself and use it for multiple meals for about $12. And that's certainly worth it when I have $124 to spend for the full month. But in this case, I'm only doing it for 5 days. So I had $20.75. So obviously I'm not going to be able to spend in the same types of quantities. So while I think that this experiment is very useful, it's definitely very eye-opening. It's not necessarily as realistic in terms of the different options you have while you're on food stamps to eat a healthier type diet. Okay, so I wanted to get that out of the way. So this is how my day went. In the beginning, I had breakfast. I had the same exact breakfast as I had yesterday. It was the oatmeal, the Food Lion brand oatmeal, as well as an apple. Now, I remarked, if you were following me on Twitter, that I think tomorrow I'm going to try cutting up the apple and put it in the oatmeal just to kind of mix things up a little bit, because even 2 days in a row of the same thing, I have to admit, I'm like really, really sick of apples right now. Okay. For lunch, same thing. Bologna sandwich, apple. Not really digging the bologna, guys, I got to tell you. And I made the mistake today of looking at the nutrition values for the bologna. Serving size was 1 slice. That's way too little. I need at least 3 slices, and that's what I put on my sandwich. But there's 9 grams of fat in that 1 slice of bologna. That wrecked me mentally all day. But when lunch came around, I was starving and I needed to eat that. So I did. Something unexpected came up today at work. We received a lovely gift basket of food and beer and cheese and all sorts of good stuff. I wanted to dig into that so badly because I was hungry and I wanted something different than what I had. And anyway, because of the rules of this food stamp challenge, I didn't have any of it. But I was very tempted to. But I think that brings up an interesting point. If I was currently on food stamps for every meal, when something like that would come in to the office, I think my gut reaction would be to hoard that as much as possible. That extra food, that free food, I'm starting to build into kind of mentally that whenever there's an option to get something in addition for free that doesn't hit my food stamp budget, I would go for it. So I think that was an interesting kind of learning for me today. Finally, dinner. By the time I came home from dinner, I was starving. Long day at work, didn't space out my apple like I did yesterday in the afternoon. And so it had been, by the time I came home, about 6 hours since I had lunch. I was very, very hungry. I decided today to make some of my brown rice. I made a cup of brown rice. It was way more than I needed. Mixed in some frozen peas in there, and I made 2 El Monterey chicken and bean and rice burritos. Baked those in the oven because cooking the rice actually took close to an hour. So I had time to put it in the oven, and I felt I deserved it. So I had a better experience by cooking those in the oven for 30 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Those were pretty decent. The rice was bland. I put actually on Facebook that I wanted a little bit of salsa. That would have been nice. What I ended up doing is kind of squirting out. That sounds gross, but anyway, I squirted out the beans within the burrito and kind of mixed that in with the rice, and it actually flavored it up quite a bit. So I was digging that. All in all, this is day 2. I have no. I know I'm going to be able to get through these 5 days, but I don't feel good. I really don't feel good at all. I did an extra workout today because I'm just concerned about all the carbs that I've been consuming lately, and that kind of concerns me. I'm full, but I'm like bloated, and I don't really feel good. So again, recap. Day 2 of the food stamp challenge. The monotony of the same meals is starting to come through. In fact, some people on Twitter have shared the same kind of concern for their meals. And again, a recap, no question, if I were to do this again, even next week, I would approach my shopping a little differently. So I guess you live and learn. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned tomorrow for my day 3 recap.